Social programming has us thinking that our parents are supposed to be loving. You know, people say things like, that's my mom, I can't believe she did that to me. That's my dad, I can't believe he did that to me. They supposed to love me, they supposed to raise me, they supposed to do this, they supposed to do that. Social programming has us thinking that way. Of course, we would love for everybody to be loving and kind to us, not just our parents. But what you have to understand, or what we have to understand, is that we are here to break generational curses. And if, for instance, if I don't learn how to break the generational curses, then one of my children are going to have to learn how to break them. If they don't know how to break it, then one of their children is going to have to break it, and then it's going to keep going. It's going to keep going. And so that's why you end up seeing a family full of drug addicts. That's how you end up seeing a family full of cheaters and the families that have been married multiple times. You know, that's why you end up seeing parents molesting and beating their children and being abusive to their children. Is because their parents went through it, and probably their parents before that went through it. You know, it gets to a point to where we have to break the curses, and that's what they don't tell us. That's what they don't tell us. And then we walk around with these we walk around with these thoughts like nobody loves me, instead of having the perception of, damn, they must really got some curses to break, or they must really have some growing to do, or they must really be hurt. Like, we don't even think like that. We don't have that empathy and sympathy in our hearts, because we have that victim mentality that they were supposed to be this way or that way for us. You see what I'm saying? The social programming has us all discombobulated in so many ways, but that is like one of the highest things, because that's what people end up going to therapy for. People end up having to do shadow work and things like that because they feel like, my mom didn't love me, and that person's mom over there, they love them and they show them affection and they do all of these, you know, they hug them and they spoil them and they do all of these things. And it's like, well, maybe their parent didn't have to break the curse that your mother should have broke. You know, I know that from hearing my grandmother's story, it makes me understand or understand my mother more now that I heard her story. Another thing is, we want to keep things a secret from our children. We keep our worsts. We keep the worst part of us to ourselves because we want to be put on this pedestal. That's another social programming as well. Me having to tell my daughter that her dad was not her dad wasn't something I really wanted to do. My children thought I was the best of the best of the best. You hear what I'm telling you? So of course I didn't want to have to tell my daughter like, hey, I actually slept with 2 guys and don't know who the hell your dad, didn't know who the hell your dad was until she was born. You know, but I had to tell her that. I also had to tell them other things that I did so that they know who they are and who they're fighting. Because although she didn't, because now she's grown, right? And she has a son. She didn't do what I did. She didn't, you know, sleep with 2 different men, and now she doesn't know who the dad. She didn't do what I did. And one of the reasons why she didn't do what I did is because I told her what I did. So that way she'll know what curse to break. But if we don't know what curses that we need to break because our parents are not telling us who they are, they making it seem like, oh, no, I was great. I was lovely. I was wonderful. No, you was actually a piece of shit. You was actually selfish. You were actually angry. You were actually out here being a hoe, or out here being whatever the case may be. You know, we have to be able to go deep into our shadows and face them enough to be able to tell our children who we are. That way they can face who they are and they can fight the curses, and the curses in your families can be broken. So we on the road, and this just came up, you know, and I'm like, I gotta make this video. So I hope this is able to help somebody to forgive their parent. Like, even if they don't tell you who they are, at least this could help you with a perspective of being able to finally forgive them. And that could be the curse that needs to be broken, is to forgive. So many families just are walking around angry with each other. They don't want to talk to each other, like, you did this and you did that to me. Well, I kind of didn't want to, but because mama didn't tell me about the curse, I kind of went ahead and did it anyways. And then sometimes when you know about the curse, you go ahead and you do it anyways, you know? Just be the best you that you can be, and try to break as many curses as you see in your life. You may not know your mother and father's curses. You may not know all the generational curses because your family likes to push things under the rug. Just be the best you can be. Hold yourself accountable. Hold yourself accountable with being the best you can be, and that will break generational curses within itself. So I hope that helps somebody out. Good day to you.